Hi, Brian Roddy here. This is kind of an introductory video into my my retirement phase of getting back into pottery. Many of you who know me know I did this back in high school, and others are going to be surprised. And anyone who doesn't know me, well, here you go. This is what I'm going to do. So, firstly, we're going to get into just the usual centering of the clay and just making a simple pot on the wheel. And we're going to go over the basics of clay centering and stuff. Like, I'm the only one on YouTube who's ever made a pottery video on centering clay. But anyway, hope you enjoy it. Okay, so first thing you do, get your wheel. Here's the lump of clay, of course. Because my wheel right in the middle has a little indent. If you don't plug it with a little bit of clay, I'm going to get a little pocket of air. Anyone who's any experience working with clay on the wheel, that's not a good thing. That little air pocket will torment you the whole time. So the basic idea of centering clay is to exert your will over this hunk of mud here, and it's not as easy as it sounds, but and that takes practice. Mostly, if you can master that, or at least get to where you can do it predictably every time you can set the wheel, then you're well on your way to getting the basic skills you need for doing pottery. And just as a reminder, pottery is a skill, not necessarily a talent. The talent comes with the form, as you get an eye for making a specific kind of vessels and stuff. So what I'm doing is the trick I do is I get the top part centered first, and then I work that centeredness kind of down into the rest of it. I want to get the wheel going as fast as it'll go. Now I've got the middle part, and then I just work my hand down until everything is all nice and still. And you put enough water on there to lubricate it. I like using a sponge, and I'm cheap, so I want to soak up all the water that comes off the bottom. And you can tell, once you pull the clay up and down once, you can tell if everything is right in it. It's going the right direction, and there's no air pockets, because it's very still in your hands. It's actually a very pleasant experience. Centering the clay, they call it. So I'm just going to do a simple vase, and just to demonstrate. Open up. What you want to do is determine the bottom or the floor of the pot, and that's going to determine how thick the bottom is. And if you get it wrong, one or two things will happen. Either the bottom's going to be too thick, in which case you can always trim it, and if it's too thin, well, you're out of luck, because you've kind of ruined the pot. So here's a little gizmo I made for determining the bottom thickness, and that's going to be kind of a theme as we go along here. The different tools that I made to help me along in the process is basically just a little nail that I sharpened and put at the bottom of a stick with a cork, and I just put it in there, and I can see if the bottom has touched the clay, and I've got a little more room. I can actually make it a little thinner than that. And of course, the hole doesn't matter, because once you work with the clay back and forth, it'll close up the hole pretty fast. So I'll just give it a little more on there. And you always want to compress the clay at the bottom, because if you don't, you could have a crack as you go along later. And just of a principle, you want to always, when you're pulling up, if you're making a cylinder shape, you always want to pull up toward the middle in a cone, like a cone shape. Mop up some of that excess water inside. I'll do a little technique that originally inspired me to really get into pottery. I have a demonstration from a fellow I ended up working for later. He came into the class in high school, and he had this great clay, this red clay, and previous to that we'd used this gray stuff. It really wasn't the best clay in the world, and yeah, so So he came and proceeded to pull this beautiful tall cylinder, and we're all just gasping. Oh, how did you do that? That's amazing. And I'm, 16 years old at the time, in grade 11. And so anyway, he pulls this beautiful vase shape, and we're all, our jaws are hanging open, and can't believe how he did that. And then wall to it. Yeah, so he does all that stuff, and he smooths it out at the bottom. It's real similar to that one. The excess clay at the side. And so then he takes the wire, which we were familiar with. The kids at school, we always had a way to take the clay off the wheel. So he goes like this, and he cuts it off, and he goes like this a second time, and he goes like that, and he cuts it in half, and we're all freaking out. We're going, "You killed it! You killed the pot!" It's just a way to demonstrate, the thickness of the walls and related to the bottom and the sides, and how it's really important to get that clay right out of this part here. I could have worked a little, one more pull, I could have pulled out that clay out of the bottom there to make it taller. But that's, that gives you thickness of the foot. That's pretty good, with the base rather. Anyway, so that's basic centering and pulling. And like I say, on YouTube has hundreds of similar ones, but the focus of this channel is going to be mostly on tools that I've made and how I use them, and different mug shapes. That could be my focus. Well, there you go. Thanks again for taking a look at my video, and I'm going to be making some more, hopefully, on specific tools that I made and different shapes I'm playing with. Anyway, thanks for joining me.